Stick around till the end. I promise it's not worth it.
Welcome to Hooked on Football, your go-to podcast for everything NFL. Whether you're a lifelong fan or just getting into the game, we're here to break down the action on and off the field. Each week, we'll dive into the latest news from around the league, including game recaps, picks and predictions, analysis, and insights. From injury reports to power rankings and everything in between, we'll keep you connected to all things NFL. In order to keep up with us, please like, share, subscribe, and follow, because once you're hooked on football, there's no looking back. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. It is Thanksgiving week. Got some big games coming up on Thursday. Just wrapped up week 12, right?
Yeah.
And got lots of news today.
Yeah, a bit of a change from the last few weeks of nothing.
Yeah.
Having to scrape the bottom of the barrel just to find something to share.
Right, yeah, not the case today. First thing, Eagles pass rusher Brandon Graham was injured in their game this week and announced that he tore his triceps and will miss the rest of the season. So, tough blow for the Eagles defense. Eagles are playing very well.
How do you tear your triceps?
Yeah, I don't know.
What
sounds painful.
Just like
Sounds painful though.
now,
right? So yeah, he'll be out for the season. One of their better players, obviously older player. So we'll see if this is the end of his career, possibly. I think
is he that old now?
Contract is running up. He's been in the league quite a while. I'm not sure exactly how old he was, but former Michigan player has been there for quite a while. Always
36.
very good for them, yeah. 36 years old. So
dang.
he broke down in tears today during a radio interview, so you could tell it means a lot to him, which also makes me think that maybe he knows he's almost done. But yeah, tough blow for them.
Yeah, there's probably not a ton of successful 37-year-old linebackers.
Yeah, no.
Honestly, impressive. He's been still as good as he is.
Yeah, he's been having a very good year.
Not realize he was that old.
Yep.
Good on him.
More injury news. Giants placed their pass rusher Azeez Ojulari on injured reserve. A toe injury. Doesn't sound like it's anything major. He'll be back probably right after the
IR for a toe.
IR span. Yeah, right. But I mean, the Giants have nothing to play for really,
right.
So why risk it? Said he'll be in a boot while it heals, but nothing too major there. Also, their quarterback Danny DeVito, dealing with a injury in his forearm.
His forearm. You heard his forearm.
For harm or for good in his forearm. Coach Daboll said that he's not 100% to play Thursday, so that a game that was already going to be not too exciting is going to be possibly even worse.
Although
Drew Lock, Horsecock Lock, baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, he might be out Thanksgiving. Then moving on from injury news, Jameson Williams had a traffic stop back in early October.
Talked about it a few episodes back.
Yeah, there was no charges at first, and then there was some questions about whether it was handled correctly, and so they launched a secondary investigation into it. But it was announced today that no legal action will be issued against Williams. So good for the Lions. Yeah. He's had some off-the-field issues already, so
yeah.
Hopefully he learns from.
I think I saw he was getting fined too for some crude gesture or something.
Yeah, his Marshawn Lynch tribute.
Is that the one?
Yeah, jumped backwards into the end zone and grabbed his nether regions.
Mm-hmm.
$20,000 fine, I think it was around there.
How
sounds very painful to me, but
when was he drafted? What round?
First.
He was the first round?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got a good contract. 20,000 ain't so bad.
Yeah, I think he was picked 9 or something like that. They traded up for him. He was. He was like the bona fide number 1 coming out, but he had a torn ACL.
Yep.
Otherwise, he would have gone.
No, it's all coming back to me.
So
shouldn't
hurt him too bad, but pick 12. Sorry. He's number 9. That's where I got 9 from.
I was just confused because I saw 9 Detroit. I'm like, but 12, but 9, but 12. Yeah, so I guess 20,000 ain't so bad to him. I didn't know if he was. I couldn't remember if he was like a later round because $20,000 would hurt to one of those guys still on their
Right.
rookie contract.
Yeah.
But he
Still a
doesn't
lot
care.
of money if you ask me, but
I think he should double down and do it again.
I feel like most of the guys that get fines like that, they got to know it's coming. So
Yeah.
I guess it's a
Yeah,
business
especially
decision.
after the fact. I mean, maybe initially he was in the moment and did it, and then he's like, "Oh shoot,
yeah.
that's not the end of this."
He didn't seem like the kind of guy to have too many regrets, though. No regrets.
No regrets. He likes to mess up just little bits here and there.
Well, if he keeps taking deep balls for touchdowns, I can forgive some of that stuff. But
Yeah,
like Shannon Sharp says, they'll tolerate you till they can replace you.
right. Yeah, I think that we see the end of it. I think he'll be fine going forward. I think it was
I
just
do too.
like stuff kind of snowballed, and then it was all little dumb things other than the gun. That don't have guns,
Right.
but the
They were his
Adderall and
brother's
the
guns,
betting.
weren't
I don't remember. Don't be in a car that has guns.
Right. Yeah. In other illegal news, 2 traffic citations that were issued to Dolphins receiver Tyreek Hill in September. I'm sure you all saw the video of him
Oh yeah,
on the ground outside the stadium. But anyway, the charges were dismissed. The officers involved in the incident failed to appear at a court hearing Monday. So
oh, they probably knew they were being a little bit dumb.
yeah, sounds that way. Also, in the court of public opinion, you're probably not gonna win against
Tyreek,
professional
Yeah,
athletes.
right.
So yeah, is what is decided. They didn't want to waste their time if nothing else.
Right. And, yeah, I mean, I'm no Tyreek fan or apologist, but that was a little bit silly,
Yeah,
the way that was handled.
so
So,
over the top.
kind of good that happened.
Yeah.
But, sounds like this other guy maybe, that was Rams. Your next one.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
No, next, Rams wide receiver Demarcus Robinson
Mhm.
arrested on suspicion of DUI, clocked driving over 100 miles per hour on Sunday night. So that's not very smart.
No, probably don't go 100
Yeah,
either.
regardless of whether
Don't
you're
be
drunk or
in
not, but especially
cars
not if
that
you're
have
drunk.
guns, and don't go 100.
While you're drunk, and definitely don't
Yeah.
do all 3 at the
Right.
same time. Yeah, so we'll see what punishment comes out of that, whether it's team or NFL related. He's actually been playing pretty good for them,
Yeah.
on and off. It seems like every time I watch them, he has a touchdown. But anyway, the Denver Broncos waived tight end Greg Dulcich on Monday.
Stud.
Showed some promise early in his draft or early in his career, but just never caught on. He was actually claimed by the Giants today, so we'll see if a fresh start does anything for him. Definitely has the talent.
Yeah, and now that he's got a sweet quarterback thrown to him.
Yep. We'll see if he plays Thursday. I would assume probably not.
He better be good. You can't have hair like that and then not be good.
Right. Unless you're us.
Right. Fair
Um,
enough.
Also released, the Detroit Lions let go of pass rusher James Houston, who actually had 8 sacks as a rookie, averaged a sack per game. He missed games with injuries, but when he played, he averaged a sack per game. So it looked like a promising young player. Since then, he's dealt with injuries, and then even when he's played, hasn't done much of anything. So
Is he that young?
kind of a disappointment. Yeah. He was a 5th or 6th round pick, I think. So
If
not a
you
huge
were
loss,
to have
but-
come to me prior to this and been like, who's older, Brandon Graham or James Houston, I would have said,
Well, you're thinking James Houston. I think
Is this-
you're thinking Justin Houston, I think. Played for the Ravens and the Chiefs.
yeah.
No.
This is a different guy?
Different one.
Whoa.
I always got them confused, too. Every time someone said James Houston, I was like, well, the Lions have No, wait. That's not him.
This different guy.
So, yeah. Been in and out of the lineup.
Oh, I was like,
no
man,
longer
we're
on
going
the team.
way back to his rookie season?
Right.
We're talking about that?
He was good like 12 years ago.
2004?
No. 2022.
Are they of relation? Probably not.
I don't believe so. But
Yeah,
perhaps.
this is who I was thinking of.
Yeah, you were thinking Justin Houston. He's
Mhm.
35. No. James Houston. I almost said Justin.
I remember seeing, like, noticing, probably this off season or something. I don't know. Yeah, when they got him, I was like, oh damn, that's a good signing. But definitely was thinking of Justin Houston.
Yeah. Even with opportunities with injuries there in Detroit, just hasn't been able to put it together since he had his impressive rookie season. So
Sure.
we'll see if anybody adds him here going down the stretch. Former Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, who we talked about last week, was released. Or did we talk about that? Or was that after?
No, I think he was only benched for the last episode.
Yeah. Anyway, Daniel Jones was released by the Giants. Nobody claimed him, so he's passed through waivers, which everybody knew that was going to happen because anybody who would have claimed him would have had to pay his contract. Not worth it.
No.
Reportedly withdrew his name from the running, if you will, with the Raiders, who showed some interest, but he has apparently said that he wants to sign with a playoff contender.
Which
kind of makes sense, but also if they're a playoff contender, you're not going to get that job.
Right. And also, like,
don't be a leech.
I don't hate Daniel or anything, but, like, he hasn't done anything to be able to say, to be picky. You don't get to be picky.
Yeah.
You still got to prove yourself.
Some potential destinations include Baltimore and Minnesota from reports.
Hopefully Dallas. There
was also a report that Detroit would be interested if he cleared waivers, but Dan Campbell said today that him and Brad Holmes hadn't even really talked about it. His name hadn't come up. So
I guess the Dallas dreams are over because even if he was signed today, he would not be playing Thursday.
We were talking about how it would be amazing if he signed with Dallas and then went and beat New York on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. That would be fun.
Which probably would have happened.
Honestly. Yeah.
Would have been fun.
That would have been sweet. Suck on that, Dable.
And then last bit of news, former Pro Bowl linebacker Shaq Barrett, who started his career with the Broncos, then had a stint with the Buccaneers. He actually announced his retirement in July, but he has now applied to be reinstated to play. So he's coming out of retirement. Dolphins currently hold his rights, so a team that's competing for a wild card spot. Obviously, he can always use more pass rush help, so hopefully he can come back, stay healthy, and have an impact for them. I say hopefully,
just because
in general, but as a Broncos fan, hopefully not.
Yeah, and as just a fan of any other team other than the Dolphins, don't really care. But
yeah,
I like Shaq, so hopefully for him. Now let's get to Pigskin Prophecies, the segment where we unveil our picks for this week's NFL clashes, break down key matchups, analyze the stats, and make our bold predictions. Who will rise to the occasion and who will fall short?
Well, not the best week for our picks, but
no,
we'll look to respond this week. The Thursday Night Football game, which seems so long ago, was a fun one to watch. First snow game of the season, I think.
Why does this week feel...
Well, I mean, we're closer to this week's Thursday games than we are.
Yeah, I know, but like all the other weeks when we've talked about Thursday night.
Oh, really? No, I've always.
It didn't feel as fun. Like that Browns Steelers game feels like it was a long time ago. Yeah. But yeah, we started off on the wrong foot going in this week, and boy, was it a weird
Pittsburgh,
one.
Who was favored by 3.5 at the Browns. Cleveland won 24-19, which, I mean, to be fair, most, if not all experts, probably picked Pittsburgh to win. There was no signs Cleveland was going to win that game.
The only people that would have picked Cleveland to win that game would have been the guys on that team,
Browns fans,
and then some of their fans that are delusional.
Yeah,
and I don't even think B25. It'd probably just be like they actually believed it.
They're from Ohio, so
that's true. They're idiots. 100% of them. Just kidding. Nothing. Cleveland is not one of the teams we hate. We just hate Ohio State.
Correct. Yeah, the snow was coming down. It was
beautiful.
Beautiful
Dude, did you see some of the shots? Like
pictures?
Pictures from that?
Awesome.
Yeah. And that there was one clip of Jameis's touchdown run, and it was magnificent.
Yeah.
Like, the camera work. I don't know if...
Is that the one where his microphone battery popped out the top of his helmet and was dangling in his eye on the 2-point conversion tray?
No, I don't know if that I saw that one. What I was thinking of was his touchdown run. Cause didn't he have a touchdown run as well?
It was a touchdown run where that happened with his helmet. He had two.
I guess I didn't notice that. I was too busy looking at the beautiful snowflakes. So I don't know if the camera crews were on another level for that game or if it was just because of the ambiance with the night game and the snow, but that was football.
Yep.
It was cool.
For anybody who has played football in snow, you know how fun it is. Even when you're freezing, it's so much fun.
It's the best.
If you've never done it, try it.
Come north for just a little bit, because if you haven't done it, you probably don't live up where it snows.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, come to the Midwest and play some backyard football in the snow. It's so fun.
Yep. Yeah, anytime you have a division game, Thursday night, weather can be unpredictable. So,
And boy, was it.
Yeah. The Steelers started out like decent as far as stats go. I wrote down Wilson's stats were deceiving. He was, I think he was 11 for 11 at one point with almost 150 yards.
Oh, wow.
Ended up 21 for 28, 270 yards and a touchdown, but wasn't really effective.
Too many field goals. I think I maybe spoke too soon on the Steelers, but also I feel like a lot of people did. I knew that they beat Baltimore off of just field goals. Yeah. But I was too busy thinking, wow, Baltimore, you suck.
Yeah.
To think that that's not going to keep winning you games. Like if you're settling for field goals all the time, and that's what they did again. They had the one touchdown, but you can't just kick field goals. Yeah.
One thing I kind of took away from the game, I feel like Pittsburgh, if you take away the deep ball between Russ and Pickens, that's
that moon ball.
Almost going to shut them down. Their run game is decent, but not enough to carry them, I feel like. Najee only averaged 2.6 in this game on 16 carries, so
rough.
Some of that's weather, but that's not going to get it done.
No. And I guess Chubb didn't have a ton of yards. He was like 58 or something like that.
Yeah,
but had the two touchdowns. So kind of cool to see Chubb have a decent game.
His first 2-touchdown game since Halloween of 2022.
Wow.
Yeah. Obviously battled a lot of injuries, so good to see him rounding back into shape.
I think actually it was also his first game with 2 knees since 2022.
That's debatable. He might still only have 1.5.
Yeah. He's scary. He's scary to watch. I'm just waiting for another disgusting knee injury. Maybe it'll wear off, but like that was the first time I had watched him this season because he's only been back for a couple games now. I was nervous every time he's getting hit. I'm like, those knees are brittle.
Yeah. He's a stud when healthy, but unfortunately hasn't been able to stay healthy very much in his career. Jerry Jeudy continues to be their wide receiver 1 there. Had 85 yards even in the snow. So that's impressive and good for them. Good for him. Myles Garrett is a beast.
Dude. 3 sacks.
It's going to bug me every time I watch him, thinking about the fact that the Lions didn't go after him at the trade deadline. No, I don't know that he was available. Probably wasn't. But still.
Definitely made a statement in his little feud with TJ.
Yeah. That was
definitely got the upper hand there.
Yep. One thing I don't know if you noticed, but every time Justin Fields comes on the field, it's a run play, and somehow it always goes for a big gain. How do defenses not?
I don't know because it's not like that's the first time we've seen it.
I know, it drives me nuts.
The same thing with Taysom.
Yeah,
he throws occasionally, but you can pretty much sell out on the run every time.
Yeah,
and
Fields had a pass attempt I think in this game too.
Yeah, I think I did see that on the.
But that's not the threat that he poses. So I do not understand why they don't spy him or.
And also Cordero Patterson, he somehow is even at this point still so successful whenever he touches the ball, and he doesn't play a ton of snaps. So it's like, oh, he's in. Maybe look out for him. But yeah, no, I don't get it. I don't get it.
By the way, how do you feel about Jameis Winston?
I kind of like him.
Everybody I hear talking about him loves him. I think he's so irrationally confident and annoying.
I think I just
good for you, but
I guess I don't know. Oh, and I feel like it's got to be a bit because no one's that weird, and that's how I am when I play
His quotes
sport.
are just so cringy to me.
I
Also,
guess
he's said on multiple occasions, but in the post game of this one, he said his favorite Bible verse, and I can't remember what the verse is exactly, but he quotes it wrong every time. He's something about the Bible verse says, "Lean not unto your own understanding," and he always says, "Lean unto your own understanding."
Oh,
Complete opposite, and it drives me nuts
that's
every
funny.
time.
Yeah, well, so obviously what happened there is someone said that, and he misheard it, and he's like, "I like that.
Yeah,
I'm
I lean on my own understanding.
I'm using that."
Also, the eat the W's thing.
Yeah, that's weird.
It was funny because it was so stupid, but just cringy.
But I don't know. Whatever. He is entertaining to say the least. I like watching all that the silly clips and stuff that come out of him, but don't want him as my quarterback.
Right.
I guess I was gonna say I wouldn't hang out with him, but I think I'd hang out with him like one time just cause.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad he's in the league.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, he's a goofy fella, but it's got to be a bit. Also, all the unearned confidence. That's how I play sports. So I just talk crap and act like I'm good because that's all I can do. That's all I'm good at is talking crap.
Well, yeah, I feel like some guys talk crap because that's fun. I don't feel like he talks crap. I think he actually believes he's like.
And that could be. I just think the whole thing is so silly. It has to be a little bit of a bit. So, but I don't know. I just think it's funny. He's fun to watch.
Anyway, moving on to the Sunday games. No morning game again. Vikings 8-2 traveled to Chicago to take on the cold Bears. Minnesota was favored by 3.5 in that one. They did win, but did not cover.
Just barely.
Yep, won by a field goal in overtime. We both had Minnesota covering.
So upset.
Just missed out that they won.
Yeah, that was one of the very few times that I ever root for the Bears. It's always in those interdivisional games. Like,
Yeah,
give them a divisional loss for me.
right. As long as it helps your Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Darnold was solid. 330 yards, 2 touchdowns. Some of that obviously coming in overtime.
Yeah.
But Aaron Jones had over 100 rushing yards, so good game for him.
Yeah.
It was definitely the Jordan Addison game. The Bears did what they could to shut down Jefferson. Pretty effective at that, and Addison went off.
Didn't Addison also have like a touchdown called back too in there?
I don't know.
I felt like I saw something get called back, so it could have been even better.
Yeah.
But
he had 8 for 162 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Hawkinson also went for over 100. So
Oh wow.
he's gotten better each week since he's come back from injury. So
Oh, also, dude, the guy that I don't know if you watch regularly. I'm hoping you do, but a guy that watched our Lions Vikings game vlog commented and said I looked like Hawkinson. That's a bit of an insult. So don't say that.
you don't say that.
You don't say that. He's ugly. I don't think I'm that ugly.
You are not.
Thank you.
Caleb Williams has actually been. I know they lost. But
He's been fine.
playing better.
Yeah.
He's actually 193 consecutive pass attempts with no interception. Rookie record is held by Kyler Murray, 211 straight without an interception. So could break that.
What's
on Thanksgiving against the Lions? Hopefully not.
super sad for the Bears as an organization is, he is now the rookie passing record, has the rookie passing record for them, and
for a Bears quarterback.
yeah,
I was
and
gonna say there's no
he's
way.
I think it was just over 2,200 yards.
That's sad.
That sucks, dude.
They have not had a quarterback.
Cutler didn't even do that his first season.
He's a rookie in Denver.
Oh, duh, idiot. I liked Cutler, even though he was a Bear.
I liked him in Denver a lot. Obviously, when he went to the Bears, I liked him less, but I always hated he always did this. He had like a little
Little tick.
yeah, and it drove me nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was Kind of underrated. Wasted in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, he threw a lot. There's a decent length highlight video of him just throwing picks to the Packers.
Oh, really?
So like, if
Good for you. I mean, no one liked him.
Well, no, I liked how he played. He played like a tough guy, and I just like his like unamused ever demeanor. He just always is just whatever. But yeah,
if Matt was a face.
Yep.
DJ Moore, still a stud.
Yeah.
100 yards, 100 plus yards and a touchdown. In that one. Keenan Allen also looked pretty good this game, although he's looking a little chunky.
Yeah, I was about to say, looking thick. He looks like you or I.
Just a little taller.
Mm-hmm. I guess I don't know how tall he is.
He might be the same height as you.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys don't care about that.
Tall glass of water. Like I'm like a whole half-inch taller than him.
But yeah, anyway, Chicago loses their 5th straight. Pretty much out of the running for that division, I would say now. Dan Campbell said in one of his press conferences this week that the Bears aren't out of it yet, but they're playing them this week, so doesn't want to give them any bulletin board material.
They about to be,
because they are definitely out of it.
Yeah. Matt, how many losses they got now? Where are they at? 5 and 6.
Yeah, I think so.
5 and 7, 4 and 7, 5 and 7. Have they had their bye?
They are 4 and 7.
4 and
so
7.
Yeah, they have had their bye.
Yeah,
I'd say they're out of it. There's
well,
six
mathematically,
games behind the Lions.
Mathematically, Lions could lose out. I don't know where they haven't played at all yet.
No.
So they're not out of it. He's not wrong, but they're out of it. They're about to be out of it.
Yeah, they would have to win out. Lions would have to lose out. So.
And the Lions are about to beat them. So
yeah, we hope, or I hope.
I hope too, just because I hate the Bears more.
But
wouldn't mind the game to catch up. The one less game to catch up.
I know you wouldn't, but we're not going to talk about that. Speaking of the Lions, they traveled to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Were favored by 7.5. They won 24-6. You had Indianapolis covering, but losing.
Yeah, and apparently just no one can cover because Detroit didn't look good that game.
No.
And somehow still win by 18.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I mean, they have gone 10 straight quarters without giving up a touchdown. So when your defense is doing that, you're not going to lose.
They've gone
since halftime of the Houston game.
Yeah. They haven't even given up a touchdown since then?
No.
The only thing I saw was that they hadn't given up any points in the second half since that game.
Yeah, also, they have outscored opponents 53-0 in the second half of the last 3 games.
Cool and all, but why does his name escape me?
Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, Aaron Glenn. I don't like his face, so I'm kind of annoyed that he's having so much success. Some of us face bugs.
A lot of Lions fans had nothing good to say about him for a while, but hard to criticize him now.
Yeah,
even with literally half of their starters from the beginning of the season have missed games or are currently out, and they just keep plugging along.
Obviously, dude's in his bag, but he should reach in that bag and do something with the face, and maybe I'd like him. I don't know what it is about it. Something just bugs me every time it shows him. I'm like, you shouldn't be as good as you are.
Yeah. Detroit is 10-1 for the first time since 1934. 90 years. That's a little bit of time.
Yeah. That's maybe as sad as that Bears stat I just shared.
Yeah. Although 10-1 is tough.
Yeah, but 90 years.
Yeah, that's a long time. I completely forgot what I was going to say. Because of your little outburst there, you distracted me.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. The Lions are currently tied with the most wins over teams who currently have a winning record. Tied with Pittsburgh, 5.
Nice.
5 wins over teams with the current winning record. So.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's got those weird stats, but then can't score touchdowns right now.
Yeah.
How? I don't know what to make of them.
Yeah, I don't either.
They're almost as confusing as the Jets, just in the other direction.
Yeah. Lions are also the first team in NFL history with 1 or more rushing touchdowns in 25 consecutive games, including the playoffs. So,
wow.
Obviously, that Sonic and knuckles tandem is one of the best in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Just another stat that lends to that.
We're lucky AJ Dillon's on IR. I'm going to be honest with you.
You're funny.
I guess, bad football fan, bad Packers fan. The other day, I was like, what happened to AJ Dillon? Where's he at now? Then I started to Google him, and I was like, oh, you freaking idiot.
He's just hurt, right?
Yeah, he's just hurt.
Yeah. Is he out for the season?
Yeah. I was like wondering where he went, like what team he was on now. I was like, I haven't heard anything about him all the year.
Has Emmanuel Wilson been healthy all year?
Not all year.
Okay. I say you guys find a lot of running back injuries. Dylan and your rookie.
Yeah, Lloyd,
Emmanuel.
right? Lloyd played one game, like 9 snaps,
And
10
he got
snaps.
pneumonia or something like that?
No, that was someone else. What did Lloyd? He has appendicitis right now.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
I forgot what I forgot what he injured. Maybe an ankle. So he's on IR, came off, got appendicitis. Now he's on non-football illness, which I guess is also a 4-game thing.
Okay.
When he first went on, I had it mixed up with the pup, because that one they have to come back in less than 21 days. This one's the opposite, so they have to be out for 4 games. So, kind of a bummer. Going to be a few more weeks, but
well, Jacobs is
turning
it up for you guys. Running back 3 in the league right now in
Jacobs
yards.
is doing it, yeah. And after his 3 touchdowns, it's like I forget. He's up there in touchdowns too. But dude's quietly killing it over there.
Yeah. Then we had the 3-7 Cowboys at the Commanders. Washington favored big in this one, and somehow Dallas pulled out the victory.
Yeah.
Washington is struggling right now.
Yeah. Everyone. I mean, it was pretty early on. We started talking about the Jaden Daniels offensive rookie of the year, but it seems like he doesn't want it.
Yeah.
The last few weeks have been rough for him.
Even odds with Bo Nix now.
I feel like they shouldn't be even.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel
I
that
agree,
close
but
anymore.
I didn't know if I was being biased.
No, I don't think so. You know this, I've always liked stats, and when you look at stats, like
Right.
Bo's.
Plus, they have the same record now. So
Yeah, Bo's definitely got the edge. Eye test early on, Jaden was more fun to watch than Bo.
Right.
But Bo's efficient and just getting better and better, it seems.
Yep. Yeah, that was a wild finish in that game.
Yeah.
Two kick return touchdowns, including an onside kick return, which we were watching it together. I didn't even know that you were allowed to return onside kicks.
No,
I don't think I've ever seen it.
There was like 19 points or something stupid low scored until the last 6.5 minutes of the game. And then what did the score end up being? I don't even remember.
34-26.
Yeah.
And McLaurin also had an 86-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Washington missed the point after.
There was like
when they could have taken the
40-some
lead.
points scored in the last 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, wild.
Bonkers.
Yep, wild. Kind of fun to watch in the fourth quarter. Before that, not so much.
Yeah.
Washington's third straight loss. Prior to that, they had 2 victories that they squeaked out against the Giants and then the Hail Mary against Chicago. So 5 weeks now, they have not looked very impressive. Had their chances to win this game, but kind of kept shooting themselves in the foot between missed field goal and point after. Daniels had 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably outperformed by Cooper Rush, which never
Not
good thing to say that.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys actually finally had a run game to speak of.
Yeah.
Dowdle
Yeah.
averaged 4.5 yards per carry. I don't really know what that was a product of, but
What does Zeke get any touches ever? Is he hurt?
Zeke,
Yeah.
he was getting touches early in the year. He's just terrible. He's washed.
I didn't know. I knew he was not playing well. I just didn't know whatever happened because then
No, he was active. He
heard
he had
anything at all.
He had single-digit carries in this game and averaged
Okay.
not good.
Averaged a yard, but yeah, a little bit of a bummer. I hate seeing the Cowboys win, even when it means nothing.
Yeah. Elliott had 3 carries for 6 yards, so you weren't far off.
Great work.
I mean, hard to get a rhythm going when you only get 3 carries, but even
Sure.
before this game, he has not been good. So
Yeah.
yeah, Cowboys just butchered their offseason. Had a chance to sign Derrick Henry. Instead, you bring back Zeke Elliott as your number 1. He's terrible.
There's another thing I saw now that you bring up the Derrick Henry thing. It was Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, and Saquon Barkley. They all leave. The 3 teams that they left are combined 7-26, and the 3 teams they're on are combined 24-9.
Okay, it was something like that.
Yeah, that's rough.
Crazy.
And not only are they 24-9, but like they're a huge reason why they're 24-9. It's not like they're just being carried by those teams.
I heard someone talking about it, but you can also convincingly argue that even if they had stayed on the teams they were with, like Saquon wasn't going to make the Giants a contender or anything.
Probably would have helped them with a couple
Henry
of wins,
wasn't
especially
making the Titans.
302 yards
in
in a game.
That's what I'm saying. He wouldn't be doing that behind.
I think he would have had a couple good, like not that good, but a couple big games, and would have helped them win at least a few more. And Henry too.
Yeah,
Levis can be good sometimes.
Yeah,
here and there.
He's got arm talent. He just I don't know.
But without Henry, like he's got to carry, and he can't do that.
Pollard's been pretty decent, but he's no Derrick Henry.
No.
The
Raiders would have sucked.
We will get to them in a minute.
Yeah.
But first, the Chiefs, unimpressive again, went to Carolina to play the Panthers, who were only 3-7, favored by 11. Had to squeak out another win. Like a win's a win, but that doesn't feel like a win to me if I'm a Chiefs fan.
No, not at all.
Or even as not a Chiefs fan, it doesn't feel like a win.
No, feels like a win for Carolina.
Yeah,
I was pretty stoked for Carolina.
Yeah, Bryce Young. How about him? Since the benching, looked pretty good. So not often you see that, especially a short benching like that.
Yeah, him and I mean it's only been a game or two, but Richardson.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, like I said, Chiefs did not look impressive, but their offense finally kind of won them a game.
That was
their
even like Mahomes' best game.
Yeah.
So far this season, and they still.
Yeah, their defense decided to not show up since Mahomes decided to show up.
Like, we don't have to do it today.
Right. Yeah, right. When it was happening, I predicted that Mahomes 30 yards. Well, I said 30 yards, but it ended up being just a little bit
like
more
30,
to get into field goal range. I knew that.
His little scramble
everybody
there.
Watching knew as soon as they got the ball, they were going to go win it. But, man, to only beat Carolina by 3 is not great.
No, not great at all. So, yeah, I love to see it.
Yeah. I would much more love to see a loss, but we'll take it.
That's good enough. Mahomes knows deep down. He knows that was a loss.
Yeah. Back to the Nashville Titans.
Hey, that's not it. It's Tennessee.
Oh. Traveled to Houston to take on the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Texans were favored by 8.5. Couldn't pull it out.
Honestly, when we were just talking about Levis a second ago, totally forgot
that they won.
That he did this.
Yeah. You had Tennessee losing but covering, so you got the cover half right.
Hell yeah.
I had Houston covering. I don't know. I don't really know how they did what they did to the Lions other than the 5 interceptions by Goff, but not looking too good.
The fact that he threw the 5 interceptions and then they still lost is enough to know that they're terrible.
Fair. Tennessee won that one 32-27. Houston's just kind of been disappointing all year. I mean, they started out solid.
They started out
had wide receiver injuries, obviously, but
they started out pretty good, and since the week before,
Packers waxed them, right?
I don't. Yeah. And I think it was even the week before that. I was like, I don't know, and then Packers crushed them, and then the week after they lost to the Jets or something, and I was like, they're kind of bad, and
they're lucky to be in a bad division.
Yeah, well, but also 7-5's good record.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're 7-5. They shouldn't be 7-5. Cincinnati should be 7-5, and Houston should be 4-7 or whatever Cincinnati is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're. I don't.
CJ Stroud's definitely come back down to earth from last year.
Yeah.
And
He's another one that. No, I mean, I like CJ and liked watching him be successful, but when he first came into the league, I was like, that face is not a franchise guy. He looks like he's always on the verge of tears.
I always liked it when he was at Ohio State, especially because he was never able to beat Michigan. But
You liked that he looked like he was going to cry all the time?
yes.
Even when he's so happy and celebrating?
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't have a very good game this week, which was compounded by the fact that Mixon struggled.
Yeah.
Probably his worst game of the season.
Yeah.
Been very good for them. And their defense also. Nobody really showed up for Houston in this game.
Mm-mm.
Which that's how you lose to a team like Tennessee, who is really not that good.
Yeah, Tennessee, 32 points they put up.
Yeah.
Not bad for a dog shit team.
So we'll see if the Texans can hold on to that division lead. Indianapolis also lost, so that helps them. But
yeah, they'll be
Indianapolis has a week scheduled
for the rest
down the stretch. So yeah,
I think Houston still gets that division, and gets a playoff spot, but only by default.
Yeah. Anything else to say about that one?
Not really.
Okay. Moving on, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers faced off against the New York Giants.
They're back, baby.
Danny DeVito. Tampa Bay was favored by
Danny DeVito.
Tampa Bay was favored by 5.5, and they dominated, won 30-7.
Mm-hmm.
Buccaneers actually had 4 rushing touchdowns by 4 different players in this game.
Wild.
Baker, Rashad White, Bucky Irving, and Tucker, who is their third running back.
Okay.
So that's impressive. Baker just continues to play efficiently.
Yeah. He's a dog.
Yeah. Return of
He's
Evans.
a dog.
I was not on board with that.
I just like the shit talk. But apparently he likes Tommy. So they was questioned about it afterwards. Once they questioned about it, I was like, weird guy to target.
I say I don't know enough about Tommy DeVito to know if anybody has any reason to dislike him.
But then he was there was some sort of, not necessarily history, but like they've had dealings with each other in the past, like at whatever, and he likes him, so it wasn't really, I guess, a shot at him. He was just
being funny.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a shot at his agent. Have you seen his agent? It looks like a gangster, but also a movie gangster, not a real one.
And like a crappy movie gangster. like a gangster from like a Harold and Kumar movie.
I haven't seen those.
Just dumb comedies that are nothing serious. And I'm Italian, so I love Italians and I love that culture, but that dude bugs me.
Buccaneers got Mike Evans back this week, which would be big for their playoff push.
Yeah. They're still in it. They could still make a push. I'm hoping for it. I want Baker in the playoffs.
I don't know exactly what the playoff picture looks like right now, but Rams suffered a big loss this week. NFC West is going to have possibly 2 teams, although maybe not. NFC North might have 3.
There's still a couple games back on the Falcons, aren't they?
Yeah. No, actually only 1, but Atlanta beat them twice, so basically 2.
Yeah.
But anyway, Tampa Bay has a chance still to make a push for the playoffs, so Evans will help them there. For the Giants, DeVito was injured late in the game, as we mentioned. He might not play Thursday, but quarterback was clearly not the Giants' only problem, which Malik rookie wide receiver Neighbors said. Was that in the post game that he said that?
Oh, I don't know if it was post game or if it was it had to have been because I saw it yesterday. Malik was saying
players meet with the media on Mondays usually, so it could have been yesterday.
Maybe But he said that obviously quarterback wasn't the only issue, which
Right.
pretty bold for a rookie, but also he's that guy, so it doesn't matter. Also,
Right.
he's not wrong, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It doesn't take a veteran to see that.
No. Dayball, another one. Looking at him, he's not a head coach. If you want good football takes, come to me. I can do it just based off looking at a guy. But yeah, no, it's rough over there. They need a new coach, and also now a quarterback.
Drew Luck's not it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we'll see if they, depending on where they pick, if they go with Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders
Yeah.
in the draft. Will be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling Shadur wouldn't mind playing in New York City. Playing,
I was just
playing
thinking
with
that.
neighbors.
Yeah. He what was the team he said that he would not go to? Wasn't it him? There was frick.
Yeah, I think I know vaguely what you're talking about.
Like the Raiders or something.
I think it was his dad that said he wouldn't go play somewhere.
Maybe, yeah, could have been.
But
yeah, I'm still undecided on how I feel about Sanders as an NFL quarterback.
yeah,
I don't know. I haven't watched him a ton, but he feels very much like a good college quarterback to me, anyways. Could be wrong.
yeah.
I gotta look at his face more, then I'll know.
As often, and it will depend on the situation that he gets drafted
That's true.
into. But yeah,
Mhm.
I feel like New York is not a terrible option if they get a new coach, like you said.
Yeah.
But Neighbors and Tracy, we've already talked
Maybe Dion.
about. I don't think Deion's going to the NFL.
Well, if Shadur went, maybe. If there's a coaching position where his son is,
Yeah.
as a dad, I'd go. That'd be dope. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, time will tell. Moving on, the 3-8 Patriots took on the 4-6 Dolphins, who are all of a sudden looking pretty explosive. Miami was favored by 7, easily covered that.
Yeah.
For some reason, I picked New England to cover
Because
because I like Drake May.
yeah,
This is on my
and
dynasty
also
fantasy team.
Miami hasn't done
Yeah,
like a ton yet, but Tua
Tua and Waddle
somehow
had it going this week.
isn't completely messed up yet.
Yeah,
He can still throw the ball pretty well.
yeah, 4 touchdown passes, 2 to Achane, so kind of an extension of the run game. They were shorter passes, but still 4 touchdown passes. Waddle had 144. Jonnu Smith had, I don't know if it was over 100 or I think it was 80 something. But
Had a touchdown.
anyway, yeah, and Tyreek Hill still.
Nothing. Tyreek's washed.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched enough of their actual game time to tell.
I've watched him drop enough passes and then just look on the field where it's just real Travis Kelce vibes.
Yeah, it's weird how those two
Just
fell off at the
fell
same
off,
time.
yeah.
Time will tell. I have a feeling they'll both have.
You kind of expect it with Tyreek just because his whole thing was his speed, and you're not going to stay fast forever. That's just not how it works.
Yeah.
But with Travis, he was never fast and didn't do anything crazy either. So why can't he catch anymore? That I don't get.
It's strange. Noah Gray all of a sudden looking like Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm. Which I like just because I hate Travis. So I love to see them have another good tight end because then he's tight end too.
Yep. Dolphins also another one of the teams that are competing for a wild card spot.
They're lurking,
and they have a soft schedule, kind of from what I saw. So
after this week,
right now Denver holds the final wild card spot. The 3 teams behind them, Miami, Indianapolis, and Cincinnati, all have favorable schedules. So see if the Broncos can hold on to that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you just got to not lose more than probably 3 or 4 games on the stretch. Because I don't think any of those teams are going to win out. Miami's got a loss this week. They're not going to come into Lambeau. when it's 4 degrees
Yeah.
at game time.
Miami to Lambeau is not.
No, that's a
Not great
bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Denver's got that. I don't think we need to talk. I don't think the AFC playoffs need to be discussed a ton. I think they're pretty set. The seeding might change a little bit, but we know who's gonna be in the playoffs.
Well, I hope you're right. And speaking of Denver, they went into Las Vegas to take on the Raiders this week, favored by 5.5. Denver covered winning by 10. It's actually
Denver's.
Denver's.
They were gonna.
Yeah, it's actually Denver's first win in Las Vegas and first win against the Raiders in I think eight games.
Which is weird.
Yeah, because the Raiders haven't been great either, but they've had
Just
Denver's
had their
number.
Yeah.
Knicks, like you said, it was close late into the game, but Knicks played mistake-free football. Looks confident out there.
Yeah.
And comfortable. Denver defense still looking elite. Nick Bonito is top 5, I believe, in sacks in the NFL. Kind of underrated.
Yeah.
I feel like he's one of the underrated pass rushers in the league. Had a strip sack in this one. I want to say it was the same play that Minshew got injured on. And I think he's now out for the season, which I forgot to add to the notes. Broke his collarbone.
Ooh, did Bonito do it?
I think it was that play, but I could be wrong, so I don't want to say that because I don't want to mislead all of our followers.
Well, actually, now that I pay a lot more attention to everything, you don't have to say true things. They don't on ESPN or NFL Network.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff they say is wrong, so we can say whatever the heck we want.
Well, we want to be reputable and factual.
Fine. I like to just say ridiculous things for the clicks.
We can do some of that. But yeah, no. Bo Nix is one of 5 quarterbacks. I should not have led it into this fact this way because I should have seen if you could guess. But
I think
cat's
I saw
out of the
this.
bag.
I think what you're about
quarterbacks
to say.
With 20-plus touchdowns and less than 2 turnovers in a 10-game span over the last 10 years.
Rodgers did it a couple times.
Pretty good. Drew Brees.
He's okay. He's decent. Fine.
Tom Brady sucks, but I mean, whatever. Mahomes sucks, whatever. And Nix.
Yeah.
Impressive company to be in.
Did I send that to you? Oh, no.
You did not.
I saved it, and then I was about to, and I was like, no, I'm saving it for the pod.
Pretty much any Broncos fact, you can almost be guaranteed that I'll see it.
Yeah.
before the pod. But
no, I saw that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good company.
Yeah. Hopefully he can keep it up. Like we've talked about ad nauseum, the wild card race might be tight coming down the stretch, so they're gonna need him to keep playing well.
Mm-hmm.
They hopefully going into the next year they can get a tight end and another
receiver,
big threat at wide receiver. Although Vele and Sutton have both been pretty good for them.
Yeah.
They're getting Mims involved. Troy Franklin, his former college teammate, should get more comfortable as time goes. So.
Maybe we can do like the Packers and just develop all these younger guys. I mean, Cortland's not young, but the other ones are pretty young, and just have 35 pretty good receivers.
They have to have more than that. 40 of their 53-man roster is just like wide receiver twos.
Yep, that's the Packers for you. Yep. But it's working.
Yeah,
sort of. We'll get to that in a minute.
I mean, 7-3.
Yeah, I know, but 8-3.
8-3, 7-3 before that game.
I'm mostly referring to Watson's big dropped.
Oh yeah, that was rough.
I thought we were done with that crap.
Yep.
We let MVS go, and then we got him again.
Yeah. Although MVS has been playing pretty good.
Yeah, well, he does that
this week. But
well, I'm gonna end up starting him in fantasy again, but this is gonna be a week where he drops probably 2 touchdown passes.
MVS.
Yeah, because that's what he does.
Yeah. But yeah, the Packers took on the 49ers this week. Packers are favored by 2.5 at least before Purdy was ruled out.
Mm-hmm.
We both picked Green Bay to win and cover, which was no issue for them. They won that one 38-10. Packers might be the best third place team in NFL history, huh?
Yeah, I didn't think
sure
about
there's
that.
got to be another one that's as good or better, but still to be
at
7,
least
8-3
in recent history.
Yeah,
8-3 in third place. That's bonkers.
Yeah, the NFC North is the Wild West.
Yeah, well,
the Wild.
Well, actually,
North.
The NFC West is
Did I say NFC West?
No.
Okay.
You said North.
Okay.
And then I was saying how NFC West is so tight. It's like actually kind of Wild West.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even though the Bears fell off, which I knew was going to happen, Minnesota, Packers, and Lions have all stayed right there at the top.
Honestly, I would have predicted the Vikings to fall off more than the Bears, but
because of Darnold, yeah, I thought they were going to be fourth in the division at the beginning of the season once McCarthy was ruled out. Not that I thought they were going to be great with McCarthy already, but
right.
I liked that. I liked that better than I liked the Bears.
Yeah, well,
definitely better than I like Darnold.
Both Bears and Vikings were supposed to have a rookie quarterback, and Caleb Williams is obviously more highly touted.
Yeah,
arguably more talented, but not arguably, really.
Yeah,
compared to Mahomes coming out of the draft, which,
right.
Anyways, do you think that this game was at all proof of the 49ers need to pay Brock Purdy? Or shouldn't be hesitant to pay him anyway?
I don't know.
I mean, Brandon Allen pretty good.
He threw one pick, but McKinney's got 1,000 of them this year, so like
7, but yeah, close.
Like it was probably going to happen even if Purdy was playing, but Allen was playing well. I felt like if anything, it was, hey, we can put any dude in here and run this offense. I don't put too much in these like weird trends and stats, but like all the time, regular season, Packers beat the Niners.
Yeah, it's weird.
Usually convincingly. Sometimes they're tight. But the Niners had looked especially bad this year. And Packers have half the time looked like contenders. So I wasn't surprised with how with how much it looked like the Packers left out on the field. I was a little bit surprised that they won by 28 because like I don't know, some things just seemed off. There was the Watson dropping that huge touchdown pass, and I guess I don't know what else. I think maybe the main thing was that Allen was kind of carving him up a little bit. They keeping him out of the end zone mostly.
Yeah.
But they just didn't look like they were at their best, and then still won by 28. So I don't think Purdy had much to do with it. Bosa probably not either because he has one game when he's played the Packers. He's actually been a factor. Other than that, there's one game in the postseason. He had a couple sacks, but other than that, when they play, he's a non-factor. So,
obviously, I haven't watched them as close as you have. I feel like some of that probably has to be him getting extra attention.
Absolutely.
Which obviously affects the other players on the field. So he might not have put up stats, but
right. But the Green Bay's O-line is always good enough that they can put it or either double him or chip him or whatever. That he's never been an issue. So, I mean, maybe not having to have Kraft help block him got Kraft out in the pass game a little bit more. So maybe it had a little bit more of an effect than it seems like it would have on the stat sheet. But I wasn't before I knew they were out, I wasn't really concerned for that game. Just seeing where both teams were at and then also the trends.
Yeah, 49ers are looking rough this year. Christian McCaffrey obviously coming off an injury, but has not looked like himself.
No.
I heard someone saying yesterday, I believe it was, that it wasn't an impressive win because the 49ers were without their three best players. Like, I don't think you can say Brock Purdy's better than Christian McCaffrey or Debo.
No.
And then Trent Williams, obviously a big one, but
yeah, I forgot he was out too.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because Detroit's been without
I was
a
literally about to
lot
say
of
that,
guys, and they're still stomping people. And Green Bay was without one of their best. Trying to decide if he is their best. Jair, he wasn't playing, and I don't remember. I think everyone else came back.
Evan Williams was playing.
I saw a lot of Von Bullard, so maybe he wasn't. But either way,
Injuries are not excuse.
no, they're not an excuse.
I was about to say unless it's your quarterback, but Brock Purdy's not exactly elite. So.
Purdy's not and they're not in a if Love's out. Oh, I guess this year doesn't matter because Malik Willis they put in a good enough plan there. But if your quarterback's someone this year, Baker, who's absolutely carrying that team, that's gonna hurt. If Patrick Mahomes, because I don't even know who their backup is.
I don't either.
I don't think they
is
care.
Still? No, I ain't gonna say that because I feel like it's wrong.
They're not. If Goff goes out, that's a big deal. Brock Purdy goes out. Yeah, it sucks a little bit because that's your guy who's taking all those first team reps, but he's very much just a plug and play kind of guy. He's fine. He doesn't make mistakes.
Oh, Carson Wentz's.
Backup. So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
You don't want him in there. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people that are super high on Brock Purdy. I've never seen it. He's very much a product of that system. They have a great coach who is the reason why there's so many other great coaches in the league right now. All of the guys who are, not all of the guys, Dan Campbell didn't come from Shanahan's tree. But most of the top guys, McVay, LaFleur, who are the other dudes that were in his tree?
O'Connell.
All those dudes came from Shanahan. So he's got a great system that you can put anyone in. You see it in Green Bay with LaFleur's system. Malik Willis isn't good.
Right. Yeah, he looked good for you guys, though.
Yeah, because you can put him in a good system.
Right.
And that's what Purdy is. If you put if Purdy was in Tampa right now, they would be dog shit. He's not that kind of guy. He's not like that playmaker kind of guy. He might make plays here and there.
Yeah.
But he's not consistently making big plays. He's consistently just, this is what Shanahan told me to do on this play. And then does that well enough. So, no, I don't think that makes a difference for them. So, beating anybody by 28 is an impressive win.
Well, the problem for the 49ers now is that now that it's time to pay Purdy, all their position players are getting to the end of their peak or past it. So.
Yeah, Debo's on the downward spiral. McCaffrey doesn't look like he's got it anymore.
Yeah.
I think Kittle's probably got a couple more years, but
I traded McCaffrey in our Dynasty League at the right time.
Yeah.
And Kelsey.
Yeah. Yep. I think I sent Jones to you probably at the right time. Get you a good end of the season, but I don't know that he's got a ton more either. He's getting old. It's sad seeing that. I don't like that.
100 yards this week.
Well, I mean seeing that generation.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Even I've liked Tom a lot more after he went to Tampa and then retired until he got in the
retired.
booth.
Yeah, no kidding.
Then he got in the booth and now he's annoying. But even seeing him go, I was like, that's a kind of a bummer. And yeah, I don't know. Every time you just see a generation start to fall off, it kind of hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
As much as I hate the Niners, I don't want to see McCaffrey and Debo disappear.
I don't hate the Niners, but...
Oh, well, you don't have as much reason. Well, I guess last year they gave you a little bit of a reason. But when they've done it to you 3 times,
right.
You really start to hate them.
Plus, I feel like that loss was more on Detroit than San Fran. I feel like they let off the gas at halftime.
Yeah. But no, I like a lot of the guys that play for San Fran. I just don't like that organization because they've been the bane of me.
Right. Last game of the Sunday afternoon slate, the 6-4 Cardinals in the NFC West showdown with the Seahawks, 5-5.
Wasn't much of a show.
Seattle, no, very lame game. Only touchdown of the game was a defensive touchdown, I think.
Yeah.
Pick 6.
Yeah.
Seattle was favored by 1. We both picked Arizona to win because they had been playing well, but Seattle took control of the
Not
NFC West
anymore.
race. They pretty much shut down Arizona's run game, which is a big part of what they do.
Yeah.
Both Kyler and James Conner struggled in the run game. Actually, Murray struggled all
Sometimes
around.
forget James Conner's good.
Yeah, has been this year until this week. But yeah, Kobe Bryant for Seattle. Pick
Kobe
6.
Bryant?
Yep. C-O-B-Y.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Pick 6 proved to be the difference. Obviously, only touchdown. McBride was a lone bright spot for Arizona. He's
been playing like a
very
dog.
good.
Yeah. Dude, him and
Had 133 yards.
Noah Gray, Tucker Kraft, they're the future of the tight ends.
Yeah. When did Noah Gray come into the league?
I don't know. I think
Any idea?
I'm pretty sure he's only like 25 though. I was just looking because of
2021 draft. 5th rounder.
dynasty reasons. It's
Yeah.
like, is he gonna end up being a keeper that I picked up at the end of the season?
Possibly. Have to see what he does in the playoffs.
Yeah. But
There wasn't too much to say about that game.
no.
Not much happened. So
No.
that division race is tight. So we'll see what happens down the stretch. This week's Sunday night football game featured the 8-2 Eagles at the 5-5 Rams. Thought this was gonna be a good game. Wasn't not so much.
No.
Philly was favored by 3, which we both did pick them to cover. They won by 17.
Yeah.
Barkley. Time to start talking about him in MVP talk instead of just Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. Yeah.
300 total yards. That's insane.
Well, 302.
Most his 255 rushing yards is the most in Eagles history, passing LaShawn McCoy.
Most in Saquon history.
Really?
Yeah, it was his most rushing yards too.
So, and he's on pace to break the rushing yards and total yards record for a season.
Is he
That's
really?
insane. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Impressive.
Dang. What's he? Yeah, he's already at like 13 something with 6 games left.
Yeah. He was on he's on pace to break both kind of narrowly, but crazy impressive.
True, just for fun. Complete the storyline, and then he can go rob people who need money.
What did it say?
It said, should the true or false, the Vikings should pursue Aaron Rodgers in the offseason. He's got to complete the storyline.
He's on pace for 2,151 rushing yards. The current record is 2,105 by Eric Dickerson. One less game. But,
yeah.
But still.
So I think to
2,504.
really do it, he should just get 2,300 just to
or get 20
wipe out all
or
doubt.
past 2,105 by before the last week.
Or that too.
And then 2,548 total yards would surpass Chris Johnson, 2,509. So
And then nowhere
one of the
near on
greatest
touchdowns.
seasons from a running back in NFL history for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the best free agent signings of all time too.
Saquon?
Yeah, especially
Think
if
gonna
they go on and win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, especially if they get a few years of that.
Yeah.
Because he's somehow way younger than I thought.
Yeah. What was he, like 26? 27?
I think 27 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you said that was his most rushing yards, I was thinking, I remembered a game where he had that close to that many, but I'm thinking now that it was Penn State versus Michigan.
Yeah, he probably.
Because I remember him.
Yeah, at college, he probably had 535 yards or something in that game.
I don't know about that, but it was a lot. I think like the first snap of the game, he went like 80-yard touchdown.
Damn.
And then it was downhill from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just keeps doing something every week that is insane, whether it's hurdling backwards or over 300 yards from scrimmage. What's the most yards from scrimmage in history? It can't be a ton more.
Calvin had 329
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Calvin.
against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Which
Did you see that picture of him
Love that
next to DK? What was the caption? I forget what the caption was, but there was a picture of him and like DK Metcalf like shaking hands, and everyone knows how much of a monster DK is. But it looked like if you've ever seen the picture of Shaq and Dwayne Johnson, it was like they were very different. I was like, nah. They don't want to say it?
That's not right.
No. But yeah, Kelvin was some
Flipper Anderson, 336 against the Saints in 89. Billy Cannon, you know him.
Yep.
330 yards.
Oh yeah, I remember back when he what team?
Apparently for the Houston Titans.
Houston Titans.
Houston Oilers versus the New York Titans. Tells you how long ago that was, 1961.
So weird.
And Calvin was third, 329. Adrian Peterson, 315, 2007. So that would be the
So Barkley just
most
barely
recent
got
one.
up on the list. The
Priest
top
Holmes.
10.
Antonio Brown. I forgot about that one. 306 versus Oakland.
Hell yeah. Your boy Josh Jacobs still better than Saquon.
303 with
Uh-huh.
Vegas against Seattle
Uh-huh.
2 years ago.
I don't remember that.
I don't either.
Probably because he was playing for Vegas. Well, 2 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah, it was Vegas. Yeah.
Vegas.
But yeah, anyway, number 9 in all of history. So very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you like him or Josh Allen for MVP right now? Or somebody else?
Yeah, him, because Josh Allen's had a little bit of a dip. the last few weeks.
Jared Goff.
Well,
Yeah, between the 5
Like you
interception
said,
game and
the-
0 touchdowns this week, I think
yeah,
Goff's
the
kind of out
5
of it. But
interceptions, I think.
especially on a primetime game.
Unless he did the 5 interceptions like week 2 on a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
And then was good since.
Although, to throw 5 interceptions and still lead your team to win, maybe you could turn it into a...
Did he lead him or did Mr. Bates lead him?
Masturbates.
Master Bates lead him.
Great. One of our 27 followers is going to report us.
I think you can say masturbate. I don't think that's one of the bad words.
Okay. We'll find out.
Also, I think if it's after like the first 5 minutes, it doesn't really even get flagged anyway. This podcasters are always like beeping stuff out for the first 5 minutes or saying like not to if they're with other people. Like, dang it. You gotta wait till 5 minutes. So we're good.
Yeah, that was a bad loss for the Rams. Like I said, competing for a wild card spot, but NFC loss. I don't know. And the fact that they didn't look like they were on the same level.
Not even close. It was very lopsided.
Yeah.
I feel like more lopsided than 17 points.
Yeah, I would agree.
Didn't feel good.
Philly's looking like a major threat to
Mm-hmm.
in both the NFC and maybe even the whole league.
I don't think they're quite Detroit level, but it doesn't make me feel good about the Packers.
I definitely think Detroit's a better team, but if Detroit were to slip up and would have to go to Philadelphia in January, I don't necessarily like that. It'd be cold, and the Philly fans are crazed.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. You never know what Saquon's going to do.
Yeah. Lions have shut down almost every running back they've played, even the good ones. So obviously Saquon worries everybody something, but I feel like they would hold him in check at least.
Yeah. They'd keep him under 150.
Yeah. Under 300, hopefully. And then the last game of the week, the Harbowl.
Yeah.
The 7-4 Ravens.
Didn't go how I wanted it.
Yeah. Took on the 7-3 Chargers. Baltimore was favored by 3. I forgot to... Oh, never mind. I had Baltimore covering. You had Chargers winning outright, which I actually put a bet on last night because I was feeling that, but did not go that way.
Yeah, but I was feeling it. Baltimore needs to figure out if they're good or not.
Right.
Quit doing that to me. Like,
Well, the fact that you don't know, it tells you that they're good but not great because
Yeah.
they're inconsistent.
yeah.
I mean, they did lose to the Raiders, so. Baltimore won that one 30-23. Honestly, wasn't that close. Chargers scored on their opening drive fairly easily, but after
Yeah.
that, Baltimore just dominated.
Yeah, it was that close, but also wasn't. There was a lot of. I hate it when like, why did Quentin Johnson have to go back to sucking?
Right.
Like he was doing so good, and
Yeah, it
then
was.
there was a key conversion that they needed that he just dropped straight up.
Yeah.
That hurts. Yeah. I mean, I guess that stuff counts. So yeah, it wasn't that close, but should have been that close.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like that. I was annoyed. I just like Herbert, and obviously I like Jim.
Yeah.
I have no feelings one way or another for John, other than he just looks like Jim, so I like him because of that. But never cared. What I mean,
He's definitely the
I've always
quieter of the
been-
two brothers, so
yeah.
it's like you don't hear
and I've
quite as
always
much
been
about him.
indifferent about
Obviously,
the
good coach, though.
Ravens.
Baltimore's been
Yeah.
good every year he's been there. So
He's been there, I think, roughly forever now.
roughly, like 40,000 years, something like that. But yeah, Henry and the Baltimore run game kind of just controlled the
Yeah, he was
controlled
back.
the game after the
He's
beginning.
been their coach since like the Lewis era, hasn't he? Is he
Lewis.
there? Ray Lewis. Is he
I
there?
think he
when Ray
was
Lewis
at the
there?
end of that. Because when the Ravens won the
You know
Super
now.
Bowl,
Yeah, that was a big part of my childhood.
Ravens won the Super Bowl, I think, in 2000. And Harbaugh was not there yet. But
That's 24 years ago.
yeah,
A long time. That'd be a long.
that makes me feel old. The only reason I remember that Super Bowl is because it was the first Super Bowl after we moved to Michigan.
You know what makes me feel old? That I'm old enough now that the style when I was a kid is coming back in style. That was why I was looking at my photo album yesterday. One of the younger kids that is kind of part of the mountain bike group I ride with, they wear like Jenkos and those real baggy jeans. And one time a while back, I had mentioned to him that I used to wear Jenkos, and I was like, I think I got pictures of it somewhere. And we were chatting yesterday for a second, and then he asked about that, and so I took out my photo album, and sure enough, there's a couple pictures of me in there in Jenkos or Jenkos adjacent jeans, and yeah,
Coming back.
it's coming back. So I have lived long enough that I was old enough to care about style and wear what was in style, and then it went out of style. Now it's coming back in style. That's old. I don't like that. But also, while I was looking for those, there was a picture of one of my birthday parties, and on the TV in the background was Ray Lewis. So that was kind of weird to see, because I don't remember watching Ray Lewis at all back in the day. But
Yeah.
obviously I did a little bit. So it's kind of, I don't know. It was just something weird and cool to see.
Yeah. The only other thing I took from that Monday night game is I feel like the Chargers need to get a true wide receiver one. I feel like McConkey's a very good wide receiver too.
Yeah.
But
And who knows, maybe he shapes up to be
Yeah.
wide receiver one in a year or so. But this year, if they want to get anything done, which obviously they're not going to go get a wide receiver one right now,
right.
Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like they don't have the weapons to
Compete.
do anything,
Yeah.
which
Especially
sucks.
especially if Dobbins is out for a while.
Yeah.
Was injured in that game. Knee injury doesn't sound like it's too serious, but Chargers haven't released anything that we know of.
Right.
And that those games brought, well, your record for the week was 5-4-4. Mine was 6-4-3, which brings you to 50, 31 and 21, 59.9%. I am at 53, 24 and 24, 64.36%. So
Rough week.
yeah, not too terrible overall. Although, if you factor in just spreads, not including the ties that we do, if you're betting on spreads, I would be just over 500, which obviously with the 10% that books take out, I'd be basically breaking even if I were to bet on the games I pick. So
I'd be just one game under 500, which is pretty on par with my betting record.
yeah. Also, we're obviously picking every game.
Mm-hmm.
You would only bet, I would hope, on the ones you're confident in. So
Yeah.
probably a little bit better than that we
Sure.
would be if we were betting. But
Yeah, I think my career, I'm still, after last week, probably only up like $22 on FanDuel.
getting rich.
Uh-huh.
So that brings us to week 13. Got some games coming up on Thanksgiving. By the way, happy Thanksgiving to
Yeah.
any of you listening still. First game of the day, as always, noon o'clock kickoff. Bears at the Lions. I forgot to put the records in, but
The 4-7 Bears.
4-7 Bears at the 10-1 Lions. I know that one. Lions favored by 10.5. Double-digit favorites.
Spreads
again.
must have changed. I had 10.
When did you look?
That would have been this afternoon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I looked at some point today. I'm
Did
not sure
it?
exactly what time. But
Huh.
regardless, 10.5.
I wonder if it shrunk or grew. I wonder what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Golf report a hangnail. I'm like, they might only cover by 10.
Yeah. I picked Detroit to cover.
Yeah.
Chicago looked decent last week. But
Detroit covers any spread. I mean, if the spread's 75, they're probably going to cover.
my only hesitation is that the Lions have been pretty good for a few years and still haven't won on Thanksgiving in 8 to 10 years. I forget exactly how many years it is, but I think this is the year they get it done. And don't
The
don't ruin
Bears
my
are going to
Thanksgiving.
win.
Okay, I'm going to write that in right away. Yeah, I think Detroit covers. I think
Yeah.
they're highly motivated by the fact that they haven't won on Thanksgiving in so long, and they're just,
Yeah.
and I don't know, they're on top of the world, as it were.
They seem like they pay attention to that stuff, but in a good way. Last week we were talking about how the Chiefs don't think they pay attention to the whatever trends are going on because they're better than that. But I think that the Lions are kind of the opposite, but not necessarily, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
I think Dan Campbell's like, well, fuck that. We're going to win on Thanksgiving this year.
Yeah.
And Ben Johnson's probably going to have a day.
Well, for one, I feel like it's got to get old losing on Thanksgiving, then going home to your family and just being grumpy because you lost.
Dry-ass turkey after I just lost a game.
Which, to be fair, the last 2 years since they've been good have been tough matchups, Packers and Bills.
Yeah.
But, yep, I think they get it done this year. I think they cover 10.5.
Yeah, I mean,
Happy
it's the
Thanksgiving
Bears.
to all.
Yep.
Moving on, unless you had something else to say about that one.
No.
Giants at the Cowboys. Probably not going to be a great game. Although, might be a great game in the way that it might be close.
Well, and also it's the perfect game to have on right then because that's when
Nap
people
time.
finish their turkey and their everything and they're ready for a nap.
What's the chemical in turkey that makes you tired?
The
I cannot think of it right now.
It's a T. I'm
Yeah,
wanting to
that's what I was
say.
thinking too.
I'm wanting to say tryptophan.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
You want to know what word was in my head? Turducken.
It's
I know.
turducken.
The turducken in the turkey makes you tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the tryptophan, yes, that's
Yep.
the word. I'll be definitely taking a nap during that one.
Yeah. Good background noise to sleep to.
Yeah. Dallas favored by 4. I do
I
have
got
Dallas
3.5.
covering.
That's going to be annoying.
Yeah.
We'll see as we go.
I think Dallas covers.
We get these from the same website. I don't understand. Must just change every few minutes. But I got Dallas covering after they just beat Washington. bad as Washington has looked, they're not as bad as the Giants.
Especially if DeVito's out.
Although
Locke might be.
Yeah, it might be
just as
better.
good or better.
It's not like DeVito's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then to round out the day, the primetime spot, we got the 5 and 6 Dolphins coming up to the frozen tundra to take on the 8 and 3 Packers. Should actually be at least so far this season pretty chilly. 20, I think it was. I looked at the weather. It was like 24 or something at kickoff. Green Bay is favored by 3. I think they cover that. Dolphins looked good last week, but I still don't think they're a great team, and I don't think that they're equipped for cold.
Yeah. On a neutral field or in Miami, I'd be tempted to pick the Dolphins to cover the spread, but yeah, not in Lambeau.
Yeah.
I think Packers get a Thanksgiving night win.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time the Packers played on Thanksgiving? Has it been a while? Or no? Well,
actually,
we just talked about it.
I believe if
12
you
months ago?
rewinded just a couple minutes, you mentioned.
When's the last time they hosted a Thanksgiving game? Any idea?
That's a good question. I don't know, because I think until last year it had actually been a minute since they played on Thanksgiving.
I feel like I don't remember watching them play on Thanksgiving growing up. So
Yeah.
which is what I was thinking when I asked when the last time they played was, forgetting about last year. Although I've tried to forget that game last year, so that's part of it also.
I like to think about it. But yeah, I think it'll be. I think it's gonna effectively probably take the Dolphins out of it. Like once they're that far behind Denver, I don't see them catching up unless Denver just poops the bed down the stretch, which I don't think they will.
Hopefully not.
And then Friday, Black Friday game.
Yeah.
The 2-9 Raiders going to Arrowhead to take on the 10-1 Chiefs. Kansas City, I have favored by 12.5. I see on yours it's 12. Doesn't matter either way. I've got Kansas City not covering.
Agreed. We both had the same pick.
Yep.
I don't think they've covered that big of a spread much this year at all. Raiders showed to me against the Broncos last week that they haven't given up. They're still playing hard for their coach.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
They have a new quarterback.
Who?
Again.
Aiden?
Yeah. No, I
Or
think
is he
O'Connell's still hurt. Who is it that came in for them?
I forgot about that. No, I don't know. It's not like Gardner's.
Desmond Ritter. Not terrible. Not great.
Oh, yeah, he's there now.
I mean, he started off decent for Atlanta last year, beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I'll
stick with
Vegas.
I'll stick with it.
Yeah, I think Chiefs probably win by a touchdown or so, but
not 2 of them.
Not 12, yeah.
And then on to Sunday, the 7-5 Texans at the 2-9 Jags. Houston is favored by 5. Yeah, it's the Jags. I think they probably cover that. They should cover that.
It's a tough one. That's about where the spread should be, in my opinion. Trevor Lawrence might be back, which
if he is,
makes a bit of a difference.
I feel like Jacksonville could even win if they really wanted to.
Yeah, I also picked Houston to cover, but don't feel great about it, especially after they lost to Tennessee this past week. But that might also wake them up. Because
Tennessee and Jacksonville kind of feel like the same team.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, so Houston probably covers. Maybe not. Whatever. Part of the reason we do so bad because we got to pick these games.
Right.
And then we've got the 6-5 Cardinals going to the 9-2 Vikings. Vikings are favored by 3.5. I don't know if this pick was with my heart or if I think Cards have a little bit of a bounce back game, but I picked the Cards.
Doing all right?
Yeah.
Did you just copy my picks or what?
I did not.
Because I also have Arizona winning outright.
This is like the 1 week you didn't even send me the lineup.
Yeah. Minnesota kind of surprises me every week that they pull it out, but just like you said, I think Arizona has a bounce back game.
Mm-hmm. They're good enough to have that type of bounce back game.
Yeah, and they need it because that division is tight, and they just gave the lead to Seattle, so could be a big win for them.
Which takes us to the next game. Seattle, 6-5, taking on the New York Jets. Or 3-8.
By the way, the Jets were favored when this line opened by 1, and it's flipped by 3 points.
How? Why?
I don't know. I don't get it.
Well,
honestly, I'm not sure why Seattle's only favored by 2. But
mine says 2.5 when I looked.
I just checked it. It says 2 now. So.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Well, that's annoying because I did this not even 6 hours ago. But
a lot of money's come in on Seattle since then.
I guess. Which I believe is where the money should be. Seattle's been solid. Jets haven't been. Yeah, I don't know. And then I think about all the ins and outs because I like to overthink everything. And if they're talking about Rodgers not finishing the season at some point, and then if that's going to happen, is he going to want to put something?
Somebody might have predicted that.
You want to put something sweet on tape before he gets benched or put on IR so he could go somewhere next year. I don't know, but
I predicted that entire situation, by the way.
What?
That he was going to have, first, mostly what I predicted is that he was going to have some injury come up, and he was going to go on IR to finish the season after they were out of contention.
What I was seeing, it was coming from the Jets wanting to bench him, not him trying to get out. And then they were questioned about it this week, and they're like, no, he's starting. So I don't know. It seems like he wants to, and it seems like if you're wanting to play another year, which he does, but it's becoming increasingly apparent that it's not going to be with the Jets. It seems like you'd want to play and show that you still got it a little bit. So
you think it's increasingly likely because they don't want him back, you mean?
Yeah, apparently. I mean, the only one that's left now is Woody, and he was allegedly wanting Rodgers benched at week 4, which is really early because they weren't that bad at that point. They were 2-2 or 3-1 or something at that point. Probably 2-2. So I don't. That feels like some made up story, like we were saying earlier, like ESPN and NFL Network like to do. But if there's any truth to that, if Woody didn't want him there, he's the only one left, and so he's going to get his way. So Rodgers likely not a Jet next year. So it seems like he would want to play and be I still got it. I'm just in this weird fucking organization that we're cursed for whatever reason.
Rodgers said today on the McAfee show that he's not sure if he wants to play next year or not yet.
Well, did he say that now?
Yeah, but he's said basically more or less that since he realized that the Packers no longer wanted him, that he's been basically going year by year. So him saying he doesn't know if he wants to play yet doesn't really mean anything. He's just going to wait until the end of the season to evaluate and decide.
Been saying he was going year by year for the last few years, though, which I get, but also teams need a little more than that if they want to commit to something.
Yeah, he said something about how when he signed with New York, he was committing to give them 2 good years, and then he made a joke, which I actually thought was funny and kind of introspective, that he said, a lot of people would argue that I've given them any good years, but...
Yeah. But anyway,
yeah,
Seattle's going to cover.
Yeah, so it's Seattle covering by more than 2.
Well, I have them covering by more than 2.5, so... Which next up we got the 7-4 Chargers at the 6-5 Falcons Chargers are favored by 1.5. I think they probably cover that. I feel like Falcons have cooled down a bit, and Chargers got to keep winning if they want to stay in that playoff spot. So I got LA covering.
Also, I think they have a bounce back game. See if Dobbins is out or not. Not a fan of Gus Edwards. Who's their backup, but
this week
have not been impressed with Atlanta lately. So
nope. Was there something going on with Bijan? It was like seeing that Algier was a good one to pick up, but then I looked up Bijan. I didn't see anything about like any injuries or anything going on. So
I haven't heard anything. Just played well the last multiple weeks.
Why is Yahoo Fantasy telling me that I should go pick up Algier?
I don't know.
So I was wondering if there's something I missed that I couldn't find, but no. Either way, Chargers by more than 1.5. And then next we got the 8-3 Steelers going to the 4-7 Bengals. Cincinnati favored.
Yeah, kind of weird.
By 2.5.
Half the wins. I forgot to mention this earlier, but Cleveland, when I mentioned that the Lions were leading the league, tied with the Steelers for most wins against teams with the current winning record, the Bengals have 0 wins against teams that have a current winning record. So kind of questionable that they're favored by 2.5, even though it's at home. But
maybe they just think they're desperate.
Yeah.
But I mean, 4-7, you're kind of out of it. Not mathematically, but with the teams that are in it, you're not catching them. And I don't know. I still think the Steelers are good. I don't think they're as good as I was thinking they were the last couple of weeks, but I think Steelers win. And then next,
hey, I want to make my pick.
I thought you did. Sorry.
No, I also have Pittsburgh winning outright. So
apparently,
we're just going to have the same record this year.
Saying that.
It's because you're in my head.
I guess so.
In my next we have the Texans. No, we already did that one because yours are in a different order than mine.
Oh, oops.
So you go ahead. You keep going.
Okay. And then next we have the 5-7 Colts at the 3-9 Patriots. Indianapolis is favored by 2.5. I think they cover it. Richardson's been looking good since he was benched. Looking good enough since he was benched. So yeah, are we still on?
All I know is I'm really excited to watch Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady again.
Heck yeah.
In this one, Colts at Patriots. Yes, I also had Indianapolis winning.
Honestly, they look the same too. Peyton and Anthony Richardson look the same.
They play the same. They look the same.
Yeah, Indy covers.
Same athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agreed. Indy covers. Patriots have been playing teams close for the most part, but I think Indianapolis is playing good, and they're in the hunt for a wild card also.
2.5.
Can't lose to the Patriots if you want to have any chance at the playoffs. So I think they win that one.
And then the 3-8 Titans are going to D.C. to take on the 7-5 Commanders. Washington is favored by 5.5. I do have Washington winning, but I don't think they cover.
Okay, well, we have our first difference of opinion this week.
You have them covering?
I think Washington wins and covers. Not sure why I think that, the way they've been playing, but I think Tennessee had their big win and come back down to earth this week. So
I
think that spread's about right. I think Washington wins by about a touchdown. But.
And then the 5-6 Bucks taking on the 3-8 Panthers. The Bucks are favored by 6. Even though the Panthers have been playing better, I think Tampa's a little too explosive. I don't think that Carolina has the defense to keep them in check, and they don't have the offense to keep up.
Yeah,
so
I agree. We are in lockstep once again.
We found it. We're back together. And And then the 5 and 6 Rams are going to New Orleans to take on the 4 and 7 Saints. Rams are favored by 3. I think the Rams cover. They're in desperation mode. They got to win if they want to keep up with the rest of their division. And Saints aren't so good. And like I said earlier, MVS probably isn't going to keep doing what he's doing. And in the past game, he's kind of been carrying them.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the Rams have a problem covering 3 points.
Agreed. I have the Rams winning and covering. Speaks more to the Saints for me than the Rams.
Sure.
The Saints have played decent last few weeks, but I think the Rams are just a better team. And 3 is not a big spread to cover.
No. And then this one was tough. The 9 and 2 Eagles are going to the 8 and 4 Ravens. Baltimore favored by 3. I didn't think they would be favored in this.
No.
I don't think they should be favored in this. It really depends on what Ravens team you get, but I think that in this situation, I don't think it matters. I think Philly wins outright. I don't think
It's kind of annoying.
it's just a cover. What?
We
the
agree
same
again. Even going against the spread, we're on the same page. I think Philly looks very good. Baltimore's defense has not been good, especially their pass defense. And if you can't stop the Eagles' pass, we already know you're not going to stop Saquon. So
Right.
That's not a very good recipe to me.
No.
I think Philly wins outright by at least a field goal.
Yep. And then the Sunday night game, the 5 and 6 49ers.
Would have thought this would have been a potential Super Bowl preview or
Yeah.
at least a good matchup, but
Not so much anymore.
Buffalo favored by 7.
Yeah.
Is that what you had?
Yeah. Oh, 7.5.
It is currently 7, just so you know if that affects your pick.
I don't think it really does. So yeah, they're going to take on the 9 and 2 Bills. I think their injuries are still up in the air. The Packers just beat them by 28. I don't think the Packers are that much better than the Bills.
Right.
So I think that the Bills can probably cover the 7-point spread.
Agreed.
So yeah, the conflict in this segment, we're just constantly butting heads here. I'm sorry, guys. This is getting way too heated. All these disagreements. And then to round out the week, Monday night we've got the 3 and 8 Browns taking on the 7 and 5 Broncos. No teams on a bye this week. So we got a full slate. Broncos are favored by 5.5. Is that what you got too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 5.5. I think Denver covers that. Browns probably aren't going to win another game against a good team like that. I don't think they got that in them back to back. Also, I don't know. I keep seeing Denver kind of dominate teams the last few weeks. So I think they keep doing that against a crappy Browns team.
Well, I am going with the anti-jinx. I picked Cleveland to lose but cover
Okay.
the spread. So I think Denver wins a close one in primetime. I think it might be Bo Nix's first primetime game. Or am I? Maybe not. I might be making that up.
It might be. I'm trying to remember if they've been in a primetime spot yet.
They might have had a Thursday night game. Yeah, they did because I remember wearing a sweatshirt on a Thursday to the Euchre league that I play in. Not league, but anyway. I think Broncos pull it out, but Cleveland covers. Coming off a big win. Probably have some confidence. So
Sure.
guess we shall see. We only differed on 2 picks, so we'll see.
And it was only a half. Just
Right.
the the covering we didn't agree on.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll see. Big long weekend of football. I like it.
Yep.
Getting sick of bye weeks.
Thanksgiving is debatably my favorite holiday.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's Christmas Day football games now, but
Yeah.
I love the Thanksgiving Day football games.
I agree. Thanksgiving's a lot more chill. You get to sit and watch TV. There's not so many festivities and stuff. So, perfect holiday for football.
Yep, love it. Now it's time to dive into the Hooked Hierarchy, the part of the pod where we unveil our top 10 NFL squads, ranking teams based on performances, stats, and maybe a little bias. Who's rising to the top and who's slipping down the ranks. Get ready for some heated debates and some surprising picks as we break down the best of the best.
Well, let's see if we stayed in lockstep for this, too. You don't think so?
No.
You think we're going to differ?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. So we'll jump right in. At number 10, I've got the Steelers. Do you?
Yes.
Frick.
So much debate.
They had to drop a bit. Lost to the Browns. But like I said earlier, Jameis was seemed to be in one of his moods that night where he makes some magic happen, whether it showed up on the stat sheet or not. But they need to quit settling for field goals or they're not going to be on power rankings much longer.
Yeah. Yeah. I wrote in mine that they're kind of top 10 by default.
Yeah.
Just because of the record. Mm-hmm. Can't lose to the Browns.
And because we had them a little bit higher last week. It didn't feel like I could drop them so many places.
Yeah. But like I said earlier, it feels like if you take the deep ball away from Russ and Pickens, they're kind of cooked a little bit.
Yeah.
Seems to be like the most explosive part of their offense. So.
It's like maybe old Russ isn't quite back. He had his fooled a little bit with the bunch of successful moon balls, but the run around playmaking doesn't seem to
he always
be there.
had underrated wide receivers to me in Seattle too. Plus Marshawn most of the time. He doesn't have a Marshawn now. So. Najee's decent, but he ain't that.
He's not Marshawn. There's not many that are.
No, on or off the field.
No.
Love him.
God, he's cool.
Moving on to number 9. I finally have the Broncos in my top 10. You also? Making their debut in my top 10 means they're probably going to lose this week. But I feel like they're a well-rounded team, well-coached. I had my questions about Sean Payton last year. And even early in this season a little bit. Just he's supposed to be an offensive genius, and I haven't seen much of that as far as his play calling goes. No. But
honestly, especially last year, looked like the opposite of an offensive
I feel like
genius.
He was sabotaging a little bit last year because he just did not like Russ.
You can't do that your first year, though.
Yeah,
it worked out.
Coming in, I'm sure he had candid conversations with the ownership group that Russ was not his guy, but he understood why they needed to keep him for a year.
Maybe.
Probably. I don't know. I feel like he, at the very least, wasn't going above and beyond to make it work with Russ.
I know their owners are super chill, cool dudes, though, because they're super into mountain biking.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I already mentioned their defense is very good. Knicks putting up rookie records. So
struggled like the first half of that game, but seemed to get back into
division game on the road is always tough. Obviously, they have a very hard time winning in Vegas because I haven't done it in a long time. Ever.
Too busy
Vegas,
gambling pregame.
Yeah.
They forget.
Yep. Sean Payton was...
And they're really hoping that what happens in Vegas stays there, and then no one will know that they lost.
Yeah. Sean Payton, when the final buzzer sounded, when the clock hit zeros, you could tell he was very elated with the win, very emotional, which I almost never see him that way. So could tell it definitely means something to them and to him. So, I have them at number 9.
Yeah, me too. At number 8, though, Minnesota.
First difference.
Good. They kind of got back up there by default because their record's so good, and I didn't really know who else to, because they fell just outside last week, which was a little bit of my biases, but they did barely just eke out that game, so I don't have them as high as a lot of power rankings do. But Darnold seems to be playing pretty well again.
Yeah.
So they got back up there.
I actually had the Packers at number 8. We obviously saw this past game a little different. I felt like for the first time I kind of have given up on San Fran.
Sure.
Like, I don't know. Just felt like the game told me a little bit more about the state of San Fran than Green Bay. But obviously, when Love takes care of the ball, doesn't turn the ball over, they're going to be really tough to beat. They're very talented, which he had no turnovers in that game, correct? Unless he had a fumble. I know he didn't have interceptions, but yeah, I feel like they're probably better than the 8th best team in the league. But all the teams ahead of them, I just felt like I couldn't move them past. So.
Sure.
And then at my number 7, I had the Vikings. Not too much to say about them. We haven't already said. Somehow they keep finding ways to win, but haven't been. I was impressed by them pivoting from Justin Jefferson to their other weapons when they figured out that Chicago was going to be doing everything they could to take Jefferson away.
Sure.
Lots of weapons on offense, so yeah, I don't know, all stuff said before. But
for me at number 7, I got the Chargers. Like we said earlier, they need weapons. Johnston's back to dropping balls. Run game was good at first. They were averaging over 5. I don't even remember what it was. All of them, or both of them, were averaging over 5. But then they got behind and just like abandoned it. There was like between, which obviously Dobbins went out. Was it early second half?
yeah,
But between him and Edwards, they had like, I feel like it was only like 12 carries, which isn't great.
yeah.
So it seemed like,
Especially when that seems to be your identity.
yeah. And it felt odd for a coach as experienced as Harbaugh to seemingly just abandon his game plan that quick.
Maybe the pressure of playing against his brother.
Maybe. But yeah. I mean, and again, it was Baltimore, which obviously one of the better teams in the league. So not going to hold that type of loss too much against them.
Yeah.
And then at number 6, I had the Packers. Obviously, they played pretty dang well. Could have been a little better. They seemed to leave a little bit out there. Hashtag Christian Watson. But Josh Jacobs is playing, I think, a lot better than most people realize because I watched them every week and I didn't realize.
Yeah, overshadowed by Henry and Barkley.
Yeah. But he's very comfortably sitting there 3rd in yards, 944 yards already. And 7 touchdowns. So, I mean, that's a decent season on its own, and that's 11 games. So,
I feel like he did that a lot with Vegas or Oakland too.
Yeah, but also they always have sucked when he's there. So,
no, I just mean like puts up good stats, but is always overshadowed. You don't really notice.
Yeah.
Like how good he is.
Well, like with that, it just feels like that was because he was on a bad team, so no one paid
Yeah.
attention to that team.
True.
Now he's on a good team, but still, he just, for whatever reason,
3rd place in their division team though.
whatever.
It's about what the Raiders have been actually.
Yeah.
The Broncos have been terrible.
Yeah. So I guess same. But Love's stats were okay. The completion percentage wasn't crazy high, but he had the drop touchdown, and then it seemed like they were really trying to make up for it, and threw like 2 or 3 deep balls after that ended up in completions. So that seemed a little bit silly to keep trying to hit the same play that many times in a row.
Yeah.
But he, I'm trying to see what other notes I had on there, but we mostly talked about all that. So
I just remembered. I think San Francisco, one of their starting corners is still out too. The one whose his daughter died.
Is he not? I guess I need to pay
Last
attention.
I saw, he wasn't back. Is that Tre'Davious Ward?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, honestly, don't blame him. I take my time coming back. Probably wants to spend time with the family, but
Yeah. That that'd be hard to come back from ever.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't. I guess I was unsure how long he was out or if he was still out. Just look at his stats, see if he's got anything.
No, he was inactive versus the Packers.
Okay. So yeah, that hurts. He's pretty good. Mm-hmm. He's a dog at times.
Yeah, like you said, Lions have dealt with plenty of guys being out and still finding a way. So losing that big to anybody, you can't use injuries as an excuse. No. But that was your number 6.
Yep.
Yeah. I had the Chargers at number 6, so we have the same bottom 5, just in different orders. Tough loss for them. Still think they're a good team. Well coached. We'll see what happens with Dobbins.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, hopefully he's back before long. But yeah, don't have too much to say about them. But that right ahead of them at number 5 I had the Ravens. Already mentioned, looked pretty dominant after the Chargers' first scoring drive. Feel like Lamar just like saves them from bad situations too often for them to be a real contender because he kind of chokes her in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's been like one of the greatest regular season quarterbacks maybe of all time, and the discrepancy between his regular season play and his playoff play is probably one of the biggest gaps ever because he's not been impressive in the playoffs.
No.
Which some of that's the defense tightens up.
Sure.
But
yeah,
and then I don't know.
I also had him at 5.
Their defense is, I keep saying it, but their defense is just not good.
No, and that's not gonna get you.
They got kind of lucky going against an offense that's not explosive in the Chargers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're a lot easier of an offense to keep in check. They don't have any of those big explosive dudes. Maybe Dobbins at times early in the season he was, but they looked, like we said, they looked solid again. Henry was kind of that bell cow again. I felt like he had been down on carries the last few weeks, but he had like 25 carries, I think, and they were back to that and seemed to keep that offense humming all game, especially late when they were putting it away. So also had them at 5. And then at number 4, I was able to knock the Kansas City Chiefs down to 4 after that almost loss to the Panthers. We kind of talked about that earlier. That barely beaten maybe one of the worst teams in the league. Isn't great. But looks like the new tight end won, so that's big. That's big news. That's exciting.
Yeah. Yep. I also had them at number 4, which honestly feels high. Just watching them, if I didn't know their record, I would feel like they're not that high.
Right.
But also, I can understand them kind of being bored of regular season games. You go to that many Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Those are long seasons.
They're just like, this is boring.
Yeah. Can we just start the playoffs already?
Can't we just be a shoo-in? Can't we have a whole season bye?
Right. But as far as the tight end goes, I kind of took the opposite approach that Kelsey, not Kelly. His inconsistency kind of worries me because he's been one of their obviously biggest weapons in the playoffs every year. Mm-hmm. We'll see. Pacheco sounds like he might be back this week, which Kareem Hunt, I didn't realize he has a ton of carries, but one of the lowest yards per carry among running backs with that many carries, with over 100.
He scores a touchdown every game, though.
Yeah. Yeah, they do a good job of staying balanced and not abandoning the run, but Hunt hasn't been as good as I feel like he had been looking at his stats. But yeah, we'll see what Pacheco can do for them when he comes back.
Pacheco, I noticed in fantasy, is projected for points this week, so
he was early last week.
Was he?
And then they canceled it. But then at number 3, I actually moved the Bills down. Nothing of their fault. Obviously, they had because they had a bye week. Just my number 2 team.
Sure.
Probably can guess by now. Eagles look so good that I decided to move them up.
I had the Eagles at 3. I tried to stick with my not moving the bye team. They dominated. Saquon is playing out of his mind. Hurts is playing well too. Pretty easy to do when you don't have to do anything.
Except for tush pushes when Barkley goes down at the 1.
Yeah. Which, you know, the one game that doesn't happen, I had a parlay with Hurts getting a touchdown. And that was the one thing I didn't hit on that. So
it cost me a fantasy win, too.
I hate them. Which, number 2, Buffalo. They've obviously been playing real well. And their last game was that win against the Chiefs. So that's going to keep you at least at number 2, if not number 1 on mine, just because of how much I love you for it.
Right. So we both have the same number 1, it sounds like, still. Lions, no really reason to move them down.
Like he said, it seemed like a rough game for them, but still won by 18.
Yeah, it wasn't their greatest show on offense.
Ton of injuries, but...
First game for Amon-Ra with no touchdown in 9 games.
Yeah, also freaking had money on that one, too.
Yep, that also cost me a fantasy win in a different league, so...
But...
yeah, they still won easily.
Yeah. A bunch of injuries, but they all seem minor, except maybe the Khalif Raymond one. There's a little bit more concern with...
Sounds like he's out for the season.
With that foot.
Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Campbell said that they originally thought it was out for the season, but the first opinion they got was positive news. So they're getting a second opinion to find out.
And then, sounds like Carlton might be out like a week or so.
Yeah, Carlton might miss a game. Decker might miss a game. Montgomery will play. Trying to think who the other ones were. But
I didn't put my money on Montgomery touchdown this week.
This
coming up, yeah. Fanatics, there was 100% profit boost on same game parlay, and I was putting one together for that, and I was like, Montgomery always does, but I don't know, after this week, the injury, I was uncertain, so.
Well, apparently
So what's going to happen is he's going to have 3, and he's going to play like he
probably
actually is healthier than he's ever been.
Campbell said he tried to come back into the game against the Colts, and Campbell held him out.
Yeah, I saw...
Said he wasn't happy.
That it sounded like that was maybe the case with... I thought I had seen that was the case with him, and I think it was the Decker one too, so I'm wondering if... Well, maybe they're just like, it's the Bears. They don't need him. And
I think Decker just re-aggravated something because the game before he got hurt and left for a while, but came back in.
Yeah, and short week, even if you take a L this week, not going to affect you. What would affect you is losing Taylor Decker down the stretch, so I guess might as well say.
Or even more than losing to the Bears, losing to the Packers in a week, so.
Yeah.
Plus they're a better team, so if you're going to save, only having to risk having your guy for one of them, obviously you're going to try to save him for
the better one.
The Green Bay matchup.
So, yeah, that, I guess that does it for our Week 12 wrap-up / Week 13 preview. Hit that like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the bell so you get the notifications. What else can you do? I think that's it right now until we're super popular.
It's coming.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week.
I like it.
It's good, but it's making them longer, which I think is fine. Who cares?
They're only hanging on for 10 minutes anyway. Who cares how much we go past?
It's not even 10 minutes, bro.